Hello, this is the demonstration video for the Rigging Pro tool. So before we start with the demonstration, there are a few things that we have to make sure that is ready for the tool to work. So now you see there is a Mixamo character and a control rig. I took this control rig from the Advanced Skeleton website for this demonstration video. So before we start, what we have to do is we have to get both the characters to be in a similar default pose. So as our control rig is in T pose and our Mixamo character also snaps to T pose in its default way. So let's do that first. To do that, what we can do is select the uh, main joint, select hierarchy, go into -1 frame number and go select the mesh of that character, then go into rigging, then go into skinning and go to bind pose. So once you do that, you have T pose for your Mixamo character. Then select hierarchy, then put a key on -1 frame. So you see you have this animation and you have a T pose too. Let's reduce the time frame. Okay, so this is the animation that we want to retarget on our controller. So what we'll do is we'll scale down the character, the source character, to our target character. So what we'll do is we'll group the joint, we'll scale down the character to match our target. So if you see here, our body is aligning. Okay, so once this is aligned, what we'll do is we'll put a key on the group 2. We'll click on our tool. Now we are ready for the mapping. So before we start mapping, what we have to do is we have to get the namespaces that are on our character in the tool. So you can select any controller or group from the outliner which has a namespace and click on auto for the target. You can click over here, and for the source you can click over here. So now our target is powder character, so we have selected the group, or I can select the controller as well and click on auto. And for the Mixamo character, I'm selecting the hip. I'm not selecting the mesh because we don't have any namespace on that, but we have namespace on our joints. So I'll select the joint, any joint, and then select on auto. I'll get the namespace. So once this is done, for now let's skip the config manager. We'll come back to that and let's see how we can do the manual mapping. To do manual mapping, I'm comfortable to use the outliner, but if your personal preference is to go from the viewport like this, then you can do it. But I'll do it from the outliner. So I'll select the hip joint of the source, and which is the center of our character. So I'll select that joint, click on set source. So now you'll see you have that joint over here. You'll do the same thing for on the controller side as well. This is my COG controller. I'll select that and I'll select I'll do set target. So once this is done, we can go ahead with the spine. So I'll select all the spines that are in my source and then set source. I'll do the same thing on the controller side as well. Let me turn off my mesh and then joint. So yeah, so select this controller, 1, 2, 3. You have to make sure the order of selection must be same for the source and the target. So now our spine 1 and spine 2 are here. So we have to do the same thing from down to top. Okay, now we are going to the neck. What you can do is you can select neck and then head and then set target. Then I'll do the same thing for the set target. Once this is done, what we'll do is go to the arms. So it's not mandatory to go source target source target source target. You can set your source first then target, but it's recommended to do this way, first source and then target, because you'll remember what is the selection order that you have chose to do with. Now when it comes to arms, I'm comfortable doing with left first and then the right. So I'll select the left clavicle, shoulder, elbow and hand. Same on the right side as well. We have to do left and right at the same time. So clavicle, shoulder, elbow and hand. And do click. Same thing on the controller side. Clavicle of the left, shoulder, elbow and hand. Clavicle, elbow, sorry, clavicle, shoulder, elbow and hand. Now set. We'll do the same thing for the fingers as well. So I'm comfortable taking the index, mid, ring, pinky and then thumb. It is like standard selection order, so it is throughout consistent throughout the corrects. So yes, so let's set. I'll do the same thing on the controllers. So once I have selected all the controllers on the of the fingers, I'll do set target. So now you see there are like a left in index 29 and then same thing on the controller side as well. So let's go to the left. So let's first select for the FK, we'll first select the hip, knee, foot, base. Again hip, knee, foot, base on the right side and set source. We can do this is optional. If you want to just do in IK, you can just do IK. If you want to do just FK, you can do just FK. So yes, and then for the IK, what we'll do is I'll select, sorry, on the left side select the ankle or the foot, then the um, joint that will be for the knee and the base, and then same thing on the right side as well, and then set. Let's switch this. I'll show on both FK and IK. Now if you have done with FK and you don't want IK, you can skip this, but if you want just FK, you can skip, so if you want just IK, then you can skip the FK part as well. So as our selection order was like ankle, knee and base, so we'll do the same thing on the controller as well. Ankle, knee and the base. And then ankle, knee and the base. And we'll do set target. So our mapping is done. If you have any prop controllers that you want to do as well, select the prop joints that on your source and then select the target in the same way. And if you want it to be maintain offset on, then let this be on, and if you don't want it, then turn off the maintain offset. Now let's see how we can save this mapping so we don't have to do this again and again. To save the mapping, let's go into the config manager. So if you select on this drop down, there is nothing on the target, there is nothing. Okay, to select the source, we have to go here and save, and it will go to this location, which folder that has been created when you run the tool. So it has created a folder named targeted retargeted source. So here I'll save this file as ixgnt and map. You can name it anything you want, just keep the logic, like you'll understand what is what. Okay, I'll save this. I'll do this. When you save it, you can see it has popped up in the drop down, and I'll do the same thing for the target as well. So you see now we have retarget targets. So I'll do the same thing, powder, control map. See. So the logic of this is if you have multiple characters in your scene and you want the same animation, you can just and it shares the same rig, same mapping. What you can do is just change the namespace and then do the retargeting, then again change the namespace and again do the retargeting. So what will this do is you will get the same animation on all of your characters within one scene. So once this is done, you get these files, and once you have saved these files, it will be saved there uh, when you come back next time. So let's see how that works. I've closed my retargeting tool. I'll open this. So now you see there is no mapping at all. There's no nothing. This is a brand new scene and you have like all your characters in. So what you will do is select an joint, source, select a controller, then again get the namespace. You know this is a mixer mode joint map, so I'll select this config, and now you know she's a powder character, so like you'll go into that mapping, and once you come here you'll get all your mappings back and you don't have to do the manually what I just showed you to do. Okay, so once you are done with the mapping, let's connect. So once you connect, you'll see your animation is here. Let's turn off the controllers and the joints, sorry, the mesh. So yeah, so once you have this, what we'll do is you can check if there are any poppings or like weird animations that are like not correct according to the source. What you can do is you can go back, check the mapping if it's correct or not, if the selection order is correct or not, and then do the connection again. To do that, what we'll do is we'll go back to the default pores and delete zero connections, and then what we'll do is we'll change the mapping. For example, you haven't selected the head, for example, over here. You'll go in here and clear mapping, and you'll like clear that slot out and go back to your source, then select, then you'll get that. So but if you don't know what is the selections that you have done and you want to understand and you don't want to go into the outline or anything or see the names here, just go here and right click, select mapping. So what it will do is it will select those joints that have been mapped. So this is for the neck. For example, if I select this and select mapping, it will select that, and go if you want to see for the target, select map. Now okay, now this is an IK, so I'll go here, select map. Okay, so you can remap again, correct the mappings, and then again connect. So once you have done with the connections, you can see you have all your animations back. And once you are done with the connections, before tweaking anything, before doing anything, right now it won't do because you have all those connections, and it will move but it won't see, so because the connections. So you have to bake animation. So once you have baked all your animations to your controller rig, you can do whatever tweakings you want on the animation layer or here itself. And if you don't want the source, you can select and delete. It will reduce the file size, but you have all your animations on your controller rig. Yes, so this was the demonstration. Hope you enjoy this too. Thank you.